Now, ahead of the next COP meeting to be hosted by Azerbaijan, the conversation has been ongoing on achieving short and long-term initiatives towards a net zero emission in Africa. And we have in the studio to discuss this all-important topic, Chukwuemeka Ifegwe. Ike, you're welcome to Business Express.
Thank you very much.
Now, we're talking about net zero. It's been the global conversation, talking about global warming. Though some who say we have seen the effects so far in the change in tide, talking about the raining season as it's been experienced now in Nigeria. Now, this whole conversation about net zero, what's your take about how Nigeria is going about it for now?
Well, so far so good. I know international organizations would expect us to do much more, but you must balance your pace with first job creation and, of course, the economy. There's so much the economy can carry. Thank you.
Well, talking about trying to balance, talking about job, employment opportunities and growing the economy, yes, oil is the mainstay of Nigeria's economy. Likewise, some other African countries. We are seeing some other African countries discovering oil and trying to take the risks to sites to ensure that fossil fuels get to be discovered, not just discovered, but mined to get to, well, I say grow the economy. And Nigeria is not an exception to that. But now that international development partners are bringing the carbon credit initiative, saying by the time you adhere to these rules and regulations, you earn something. How is that going?
Well, the truth is, as a researcher, you have to understand the politics of economic indices. Note them. Politics of economic indices. And also note political economy of development. Now, if you play well in these areas, you'll understand that, first and foremost, someone asking you to do away with your resources, stop extracting your resources in favor, to a technology that will be completely imported is morally wrong.
Okay.
Morally wrong.
So in that light, your take is, well, Nigeria should not just jump in the ship to say, okay, we are following not just the global conversation, but to say we should be careful in taking steps towards the implementation of these initiatives. Is that what you're saying?
Not just being careful. We should not even join that conversation. I'm seriously, very seriously saying this. Now, you see, mining crude oil is not injurious to the environment. I'll explain.
Okay.
Mining coal is not injurious to the environment. What is the technology? Can you see? The technology for, so to speak, drilling crude oil is injurious to the environment. Instead of pumping billions of dollars, importing technology that suits international soothsayers or international experts, so to speak, invest those billions of dollars into the technology for drilling crude oil, for drilling coal. Can you see? Now, when you take their technology, you further jeopardize our job market. How? You export jobs to them. However, we are aware from what is happening in Niger and co. They will try to block your access to an improved technology and rather sell you this particular questionable theory or line of thought. Insist on getting the technology that allows you to drill efficiently. You protect your job, you protect your GDP, you protect your economy. That is my stake, and that is my take.
Then what happens to gas flaring has been experienced? Is that not injurious to the environment? And how is that being managed, if you agree with me, if it is injurious or not?
You see, when you have armed conflicts going on for quite a longer time, you should know that there are big-time financiers. Now, I said that to explain this. Gas flaring experience. I'm sorry to say this. I know definitely that our government have been arm twisted to accept it, because you have credible, you have available technology that can help you harness the gas. However, we thank God that, well, to an extent, some quantity is being harnessed and being sold, being exported. But we can also have zero gas flaring. The political will is available. The resources are available. You have the experts on ground to ensure that we have zero gas flaring in Nigeria. That's why I started by saying, note, the politics of economic indices and political economy of development. Thank you.
Okay, now, at present, the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria is in China for some bilateral talks. A part of it is transfer of technology. That's something that Nigeria has been going for, not just to China, but also the global West, talking about the US, talking about UK, and all of that. Why do we seek this partnership to enhance our technological output? Like you earlier mentioned, that we need the right technology, recent technology, to harness some of these our resources. What's the point of trying to also have a blend of these technologies that is available to us, though not all of it is given to us, with local technology to harness what do we need to have in country?
Okay, what I'm about to say is going to drop like hot. Number one, it is quite abnormal for us not to harness at least 1,000 homegrown engineers to help our boys in the creeks, wherever they may be, processing crude oil on their own. You know, to kill a dog, you have to call it or give it a bad name. But the truth is, that's what China will do. That's what Russia will do. Why not harness those of our engineers that are trained either locally or internationally, embed them with those boys to sanitize the technology so that it will be less harmful to the environment? Now, to your question. You see, I quite applaud the president's effort to go talk, it's better you do JoJo and, discuss on ways to bring in or transfer technology. But be rest assured that the person you're going to discuss with is not going to give you the entire master plan, the entire masterpiece, because he does not want you to develop faster than his own economy. Therefore, while we are discussing with them, we should also, like you said, harness our local technology, the ones that are available. We have bright minds who are going out. Get them. Pay them what they require. Give them a timeline. You can be rest assured that we will have what we need to be sufficient in that right. Thank you.
Now, emphasizing on the point you earlier raised, talking about harnessing our resources for the betterment of our economy, more so not jumping into the bandwagon to say, okay, in your words, and borrow your words, you said we should be careful in the implementation process in order not to injure our economic growth. In doing that, it brings me to the point where licenses were given to modular refiners in Nigeria, but we're not saying this refining really taking place to measure up with the demand for oil in Nigeria, which has taken us to depending much more on imports. Though, yes, the Port Harcourt refinery is coming up upstream very soon. The Kaduna refinery is also on board, as well as the Dangote refinery, which is expected sometime this week, this month. But then, what is the role of the modular refineries in connection to building local capacity, to ensuring that we have sufficiency? Then we talk about exports.
Okay. Let me borrow a leaf from history. When America was really expanding their rail industry, it was an all-out competition, everybody, free entry, free exit, and it became a chaotic environment. Value was lost, huge value. And what was needed was what JP Morgan did. He brought everybody in, sanitized the industry, and profits showed up. Now, in the modular licenses that were granted, you and I know the truth. It was only given to the person who can pay the most. And these same persons were, I'm saying you have my face here, you have my name, you know where I lecture, University of Abuja. These same persons, most likely, were in cahoot with those who are those who are importing, those who favor grounding our refineries so that they can keep their jobs and keep their bank accounts fat. The truth is, the boys are there doing what they're doing in the creek. And they are using technologies that it's just homegrown. Give them, go directly to them. Those of them who are already processing crude oil without any license that we term illegal. Bring them in. Bring the real ones in. talk with them one-on-one, understand their technology, offer ways to improve those technology without foreign intervention. So the fact that we're not feeling any impact of the licenses given is simple. They were given to the wrong persons. They were given to people who, so to speak, were enjoying from the status quo that would want to kind of limit. Now, getting to this other question, Dangote refinery, Port Harcourt refinery, Kaduna refinery. Thank God we all know the truth. Forget about what is being thrown around in social media and thrown around in all media houses. We know the truth.
What do you mean at this point?
Now, what I mean at this point is that the future of refining of crude oil is in the private sector.
Sure.
And for us to be able to break these jinx, we have the political will. I'm so happy what is happening to Mr. President's jet in France. It just shows that you cannot trust the West. You cannot trust any other competitor, whether the West, whether Arabians, Europeans, you can't trust them. You can only trust your own. This is our home. So the truth of the matter is this. The future of the refining of crude oil in Nigeria is in the private sector. If we want to hand over Port Harcourt refinery, as I've read, to private investors, Kaduna refinery, okay, maybe Kaduna also, but I didn't hear about Kaduna, I didn't read about Kaduna. To private investors, that's the way forward. We have to say no, stand our ground. International, see, in crude oil business, as we have noted in political economic analysis of energy economics, you have interests who will frustrate every political move. Even as we are here seated, they are watching this program. And they are also calculating how to frustrate whatsoever good ideas we churn out from this program. Therefore, I'm speaking to them. Listen, we do not need their interference. What we need clearly, is to ensure that our refining is in private sector and our refining is with those who are patriotic, who can churn out these products at home prices. We don't need to benchmark with the dollar. I've been asking, why is Nigeria not in BRICS? Why is Nigeria not in BRICS? The largest economy in Africa. Why are we not in BRICS? I'll stop here for now.
Well, the answer to that is very obvious. It's a gradual process. We can't just jump to BRICS. Well, that will be another subject matter for discussion another day. Just shortly before I let you go, in line with the sustainability principles of public involvement and inclusion, what modalities, in your own opinion, should be in place if we must achieve a safe environment, talking about a much more conducive environment while considering economic growth?
In my energy economic classes, I always tell them to wear their thinking caps and let's think. Now, you want me to stop mining coal and you want me to transit to have wind farm. Now, everything about that technology is imported. So who is fooling who? Okay, let me come to this other side. You want me to transit, my vehicle should run. Okay, I want to applaud the federal government for the initiative on CNG. Okay, but you want me to stop using fossil fuel-driven vehicles and move strictly to start using electric vehicles, right? Okay, now, I come from the southeast. Okay, southeast is a part of the country. And I do 12 hours when I want to go by road. The technology for electric vehicles can't take me to the east right now.
Because the infrastructure is not yet on ground.
Even if it's on ground, sir. Because for me to charge, I need the technology on ground. I have to charge every 3 hours. We are monitoring the industry abroad. Every 3 hours. At most, every 5 hours. So when you deploy it, how fast is it going to be deployed? And as you're doing, you are plunging families into poverty because they lost their jobs. So to balance it is this, very simple. In the short run, let's do a holistic assessment. What are those renewable technologies that are homegrown? First of all, not the ones that we can import. I know a lot of persons will not like to hear this, but let's do it. What are the ones that are being manufactured here? Okay, the ones that are maybe 40% importation, the components are imported, and then 60% sourced locally. Ones we know we can now engage those ones and transit so that we still protect the jobs here. Then we can still accommodate the old mode so as to protect our jobs and now begin to grow long run, begin to now go steadily. But whatever the case may be, what should be our guiding light is job protection, GDP enhancement, and our economic emancipation. I'll stop there for now.
Thank you, Dr. Chukwuemeka Ike, Associate Professor, Digital Economics, University of Abuja. Your thoughts, your insights are actually thought-provoking. It's a conversation we will keep going. Let's see how it goes for the growth of our economy and Nigeria as a whole. Thank you for this time.
Thank you very much. Thank you.